Hello, I am just testing the camera out. I am a minute early, so I have time to fuss around here if necessary. Setting up my little timer here. Hi, you guys. Thank you for joining. Hi, Barbara. So I think it is 10 o'clock and I am going to jump right in because we've got a lot to cover. I am so invested in this topic because it has affected me, and I know of many people that this topic that I'm talking about, hybrid, has affected other people too. So first off, welcome to Hemp Your Health. I am Christy. I am so happy that you are here, and the whole intention around Hemp Your Health is to literally help your health and explain how hemp helps. So I think that was a little confusing, so let me simplify this. Today's topic and pearl is the gut and the brain speak the same language. Hey, Shane. The tip of the day is to listen to your body talk. Listen to your body language, or how your symptoms are communicating to you, because this is actually our body communicating to us in ways that we can listen to it and help it, fix it, and or prevent chronic disease. Hey, Heather. So first off, we do have an amazing special. It's Love CBD. It's all one word, and it's buy 2 capsules, get 1 free, and free shipping. And part of this talk is going to be about the ideal delivery system and why capsules are an ideal delivery system, because we are talking about the brain-gut connection. So first off, let me just explain the brain and the gut speak the same language. Now, what does that mean? So let's back up way back when you were in your mama's womb and explain how the brain and the gut came from the same place. They broke off when we were in our womb, our mom's womb, from the same spot in the spinal cord, and they just grew like this. And they've never disconnected. They speak the same language because they came from the same place, and they're holding hands still. Now, what this means, Perky, is that the brain turned into the central nervous system, and the gut turned into the enteric nervous system. They're still connected. They're still holding hands. They still signal and talk to each other consistently all the time in a bi-directional way. Now, this is important because what happens to the brain and what happens to the gut affect each other. So if the gut is inflamed or the brain is inflamed, and I'm going to explain what inflammation is, then the brain and the gut are connected. So whatever's happening to one is happening to the other downstream. So the enteric nervous system is considered the second brain. Yes, please put your comments and questions in. So the gut is the enteric nervous system, and in many schools of thoughts and teachings, the enteric nervous system is our second brain. It actually does more thinking than the brain. And the brain cannot be isolated and thought that it's disconnected from the rest of the body. So what that means is the enteric nervous system, or the second brain, actually uses the same receptors, neurotransmitters, and neurons as the brain. This is profound because in Western medicine, we try to say, oh, it's just the gut, oh, it's just the brain, oh, it's just the liver, oh, it's just the heart, and it's all connected. And the brain and the gut are connected through the same type of lining and the same neurons, receptors, and neurotransmitters. They speak the same language. Remember, they're holding hands. Hi, Michael. So what happens when these hands, this holding hand that the brain and the gut do perfectly by design, start to weaken and they're barely holding on now by a thread? What does that look like? And how can we start to recognize that in ourselves? Well, first of all, it looks like inflammation. So because we love the kids so much, I want to start with the kids and how this looks for kids. So for kids, a head injury might be the root cause of this inflammation. It can be a traumatic brain injury, it can be a concussion, or it can be consistent head bumps. And some of the leading causes of brain inflammation for kids 14 and under are, hey Scott, are riding your bike, falling off your bike, even with a helmet. You're not guaranteed not to have, some inflammation from a fall. Football, baseball, softball, water sports, basketball, and for adults, these are very similar. Cycling is a big cause of head injuries. So is football, obviously, but not everyone plays football. And soccer for men and women is actually a sport that increases the incidences of head injuries or traumatic brain injury quite often. Obviously, car accidents and things like that. So what happens when we bump our head? We get inflammation. Now, inflammation is like a spark. Now, what happens when you don't stop that inflammation? It turns into a fire. And that fire can become systemic and go throughout your body, throughout your nervous system, throughout your gut, throughout your immune system, and obviously cause havoc. Nothing works well when the brain is inflamed. Now, whether the brain got inflamed first or the gut, the GI tract got inflamed first, is like saying what came first, the chicken or the egg. And the bottom line is it doesn't matter because we can fix both. And a lot of times we don't even know the initial cause. And it was never just one time. All these things are adding up. They're all accumulating in your body over time, which means chronic things, not acute symptoms, but chronic symptoms. So now let's talk about what gut inflammation is and what causes gut inflammation. So gut inflammation is caused by many things, but one of the main things that contributes to inflammation in the gut is stress. Stress literally sparks and fires inflammation in the gut. And what that looks like is you have all these tight junctions, the tight junctions of your blood-brain barrier, the tight junctions of your gut lining start to literally become penetrable and they become leaky. And these tight junctions don't let the bad things into your bloodstream or through the blood-brain barrier, and they keep the good stuff in. Now, when these become loose or leaky, bad things get into your bloodstream, like foreign proteins and big proteins, and the immune system starts to go, oh my gosh, not supposed to be here, alarm, 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 and it causes hyperactivity of the immune system. Well, the brain has a blood-brain barrier also, and it protects the brain from heavy metals and bacteria and pesticides, etc., that aren't supposed to get through the blood-brain barrier. But remember, the gut and the brain speak the same language. So if the gut, if the tight junctions of the gut are leaking from stress, from foods, from pesticides, from GMOs, from lack of sleep, a weakened immune system, etc., then you have a leaky blood-brain barrier. If you've had head trauma, if you've had traumatic brain injuries, then you have probably inflammation in a leaky blood-brain barrier, which means you also have a leaky gut barrier. So this is really important to know because you can't have one without the other, okay? Now we know stress, food. Food is really important. This is about hemp, but guess what? Hemp is food, and we want to put the good stuff in and get the bad stuff out. And I could go on and on about the foods that contribute to inflammation, but I'm going to save that for another conversation. If you're curious, just know that wheat is one of them. but toxins and GMOs and an overgrowth of bad bacteria like Candida can also and very much contributes to leaky gut. So now that we know that for most people, our gut and our brain are on fire with inflammation, how do we put this out? So this is where we get into hemp and hemp your health. 70% of the immune system is in the gut, and 90% of serotonin is made in your gut. And serotonin, interestingly enough, is responsible for gut motility. We used to think that anxiety and depression and symptoms and conditions like this started in the brain, but what we're realizing is that anxiety and depression and overwhelm and the effects of PTSD, my door is closing if you can hear that, actually start in the gut. And this is how hemp helps. So hemp is absolutely well known for its anti-inflammatory benefits. It's also a very well-known neuroprotectant. So now we've got a double whammy in the brain and the gut that are saying, put the fire out, let's adapt, let's get back to normal, let's balance out. So even the government has patents on the neuroprotectant properties of CBD in particular. So the patents are on the CBD molecule. And we know that CBD also is a systemic molecule, which means that it goes everywhere. You can't tell it where to go. It's promiscuous, but it's extremely smart, and it goes to where is needed most. Yes, anxiety, depression start in the gut, but they communicate to the brain. Now, we also know that hemp also, when you start to heal and seal those tight junctions of the gut, that you have better absorption rate. In the small intestines, those little villi, those little hairs that help you absorb nutrients can come back to life. They become less inflamed, and you can start to absorb better nutrients, which means your body's going to have all the cofactors and nutrition that it needs to heal and self-regulate. Hemp is food. Hemp is a superfood for this huge system called the endocannabinoid system. Now, the endocannabinoid system is literally our root system. And you have houseplants. Let's say you have houseplants at your house. What happens when you stop watering them and they dry up? That root system is not getting the information or the nutrients it needs to thrive and live and have a quality life. Same with our endocannabinoid system. It is densely located in our gut. There are receptors all throughout our gut, and of course our brain, because the central nervous system and the enteric nervous system are connected. For every one signal that goes from the brain down to the gut, there are 9 that go from the gut up to the brain. This is your brain. This is where we're thinking from. This is where we're actually healing and communicating from. If you're familiar with the vagus nerve, which is like that super highway of information in our body, and if you're not familiar with the vagus nerve, go see a chiropractor, because they will download so much information to you about how important the vagus nerve is. Interestingly enough, the vagus nerve, 80% of the vagus nerve fibers go from the gut up to the brain, and only 20% of the vagus nerve fibers go from the brain down to the gut. The gut is our biggest signaling system. It's almost like the earth in our body, and we need to keep it safe. We cannot put the earth on fire and think that it's not going to affect the rest of our environment. And hemp helps with the tight junctions, the inflammation, the neuroprotectiveness, absorbing nutrients, and gut motility, because it also supports serotonin, which very much controls gut motility. And if you, I'm sure maybe you haven't, but if you've heard me talk about clinical endocannabinoid deficiency, we know that irritable bowel syndrome, Crohn's disease, etc., inflamed bowels, also is directly linked, and a root cause of this is a deficient endocannabinoid system. Hemp is food. Hemp is like watering the roots of the endocannabinoid system. And if we think of ourselves as plants, we need to water our root system. We need to make sure it's getting the nutrients it needs. And a superfood and a super nutrient for this root system or our endocannabinoid system is hemp. Hemp, hemp, hemp. And not just CBD, because CBD is one isolate. It is a full spectrum, full plant that is giving our bodies, our gut, our brain, and our endocannabinoid system this information or this hydration so that our bodies can actually adapt and self-regulate, and they can protect and defend and fight against all the stressors that are constantly in our way, in our environment, or coming at us, or maybe that we're even putting in our bodies. So again, some of the, I've got a bunch of notes over here, some of the symptoms of a leaky gut or an inflamed gut or an inflamed GI tract are autoimmune conditions. All right? The immune system has become hyperactive because those tight junctions have become leaky, and if you're sitting, another way I like to explain leaky gut is you're sitting in your screened in porch, right? Pretend this is screened in, and there's big holes in your screens, and now there are flies and mosquitoes coming in. You're not going to be sitting there peacefully. You're like swatting and distracted. Well, that's what happens to our immune system when we have leaky gut. It gets distracted. It's trying to attack and fight off the foreign invaders. So we heal and seal. We heal and seal. We get the anti-inflammatory benefits, and we also get the neuroprotectant benefits. And this feedback loop, 9 to 1 or 1 to 9, this is the bigger communicator. Your GI tract is going to help us adapt, when it's healthy, to the stress. Now, I still get stressed. No doubt about it. Anyone I work with and anyone I know will tell you I definitely get stressed. However, I bounce back faster from the stress than I ever have. Stress, I can link every single one of my health conditions, and I've had plenty. 10 years of acne, constipation, so many chronic fatigue. There are so many things. Hey, Nate, oh my gosh, it's been a while. So many things. Brain fog. I thought I had Alzheimer's in my 30s. So the difference now is not that I don't get stressed, it's that I'm more resilient to it and I bounce back and it doesn't take me down, and I don't have the anxiety and the overwhelm and the withdrawal and the panic attacks that I had for over 10 years. And that's what I want to see for you, and that's what I want to see for our children, because right now, as we are living in so much of the unknown more than ever before, people and kids are looking at our environment and people as threats. And when we feel threats, what's happening to our nervous system, a central nervous system and our enteric nervous system, is that it starts to freeze up. And that elasticity and that flexibility that's supposed to be in our nervous system literally gets stiff, and it doesn't work as well. And that communication and that hand holding, it gets broken, and it starts to get separated, and we don't get that feedback, and we don't feel safe. And we need to feel safe, and we need to have all the food that feeds these systems, that protects these systems, that repairs these systems. And that's why hemp is so important. Now, we have this amazing, I have so much more to say, but I don't want to just, dig this into the ground. I really just want you to understand hemp is important. Your health is important. Your brain and your gut are speaking the same language. So let's give them the hydration, the food, and the information they need to self-adapt, to self-regulate, to heal, and improve quality of life for all of us. So capsules, I personally love capsules, and that's our special right now, is buy 2, get 1 free. Now this is really wonderful because when you use capsules in your gut, you're literally hydrating or feeding this huge system that communicates to our brain. And capsules are almost the easiest thing to take because you just take them with the rest of your supplements. So capsules, capsules, capsules are profound. The best way to make any hemp product work is to be consistent. AM and PM for most people. Consistency is key. There are some things that hemp won't take us back in time. But if we have conditions, if we have symptoms, we either want to slow down the progression of them, especially neurologically, especially chronic inflammation in the gut, and repair as much as possible. We also want to focus on prevention. It is so much easier and less expensive to keep and maintain your health than it is to lose it and get it back. We're going to have to pay for something, right? We're going to either have to pay for health or we're going to have to pay to get it back. And I promise you, it took me 20 years to get my health back. It is so much better, effective, to keep it in the first place. It's like exercise, right? It's easier to maintain than it is to try to get back what you lost if you've ever not exercised for a while. And it's hard to get back in the habit. So be consistent with your hemp. Capsules are wonderful. If you're wondering if capsules are good for your kids, because we know that they're stressed out and we want them to grow up with the adaptability and resilience to stress, then the honey sticks are great, or maybe a little tincture or the nourishing cocoa to put in their food. But for the kids, I would highly, yes, prevention, highly recommend supplementing with hemp, because we've got to feed their roots too. They need less, but they still need it because they're perceiving the world and people around them as threatening. And that is not the case. We need to feel safe. We need to feel safe. We need to hemp our health, and we need to enjoy our health. I wanted to say that if hemp is helping you and you love to talk about it and you're already sharing this with your friends and your families and your colleagues, then you can join our team. We have an amazing team of affiliates that just speak the truth. They talk about how hemp helps them, maybe their pets, maybe their friends and family members, but we have an incredible affiliate program and we are always looking for more people to join our team. We have 2 requirements to join our team. You have to have integrity and you need to be on our products, or at least try the S2S products and know that they help you, because when you speak from integrity, you create trust. And if you can't speak from personal experience, then it's really hard to be believable. And this is really about just your truth and my truth and sharing the truth of health, because we can be healthy. The body is designed with an endocannabinoid system, with a root system that communicates. And this brain-gut communication is a big deal. And we can improve that hand holding and bring it together and have a better quality of life and prevent things and move forward with a higher resilience to stress. And then the last thing is the coupon code for this. I think it's just a week, I'm not sure. Can you put in how long the special is, the capsule special is? But as long as this capsule special is going on, please stock up. There is, when you go into products, you can see that the bundle is there. It's buy 2, get 1 free, and free shipping. And you use Love CBD, all one word, to get the free shipping. Buy this for your friends and family. Health is contagious. So is anxiety. Anxiety is the most contagious of all human behaviors, and it happens in groups. So we want to bring that resilience up. We want to get the inflammation down. We want to heal and seal those tight junctions. And then we want to create this amazing feedback loop where the gut says, I'm good, I'm safe, I'm thriving, and the brain starts working. And we have a network, the central nervous system and the enteric nervous system, fully firing, adapting, and self-regulating us to health. I think that is it for now. The sale ends on Saturday, so buy your capsules. Send them to your friends and families. Join our network. Please like us on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. We are building out a YouTube channel, and your participation and experience and testimonies mean so much to us. So please share with us how hemp is helping. If you have any questions, you can email me at Christy, CHRISTY @CDesystem. Thank you for listening. Hemp your health. Enjoy your health. And I'll see you next week. I'll be in State College. I have a guest speaker. So till then, mwah, big love. Talk to you soon.